What's up everybody, another beautiful day in Azeroth, and today we'll be taking a look at a returning dungeon, Waycrest Manor, from BFA and part of Season 3 Dungeon Pool. Spooky ghosts, y'all! Let me know what y'all think of these dungeon guides in the comments. Now, starting off with the layout of Waycrest Manor, as it can be a bit confusing, especially if you've never done it before. At the entrance of Waycrest Manor, there's multiple routes you can take. The difference between them is what bosses you'll start with, and what trash you'll get, or in what order you're going to get said trash. This time around, all doors are open, always, allowing you to choose what route you want and take what boss/trash you want to start with. So I'll be going over notable trash before each boss in no particular order, since you choose which to start with. So, notable trash before Heartsbane Triad, the Enthralled Guards, Frontal Shadow Cleave, aimed at the tank, so melee beware. Make sure to interrupt the Bewitched Captain Spirit Defense, it reduces all damage taken and it can be dispelled. Then you want to make sure to interrupt Acolyte's Drain Essence. And then it's time for the old Council of Hags. All three bosses will be active, but you can only damage the sister that holds the focusing iris. And every 50% the bosses swap who holds the iris, rotating until all three are dead. Now when a boss has the iris, tank needs to pick him up and they also get access to extra abilities. All three bosses will spam bolts on random targets throughout the fight. These are interruptible, but you should focus on interrupting the one with the iris as they deal more damage. When Selena has the iris, she gets Aura of Apathy, reducing healing done by 50%, and she casts Soul Manipulation, mind controlling a random player. Nuke him down to 50% to break him out. Boss takes no damage during this mind control. When Malede has the iris, she gets Aura of Dread, which applies a stacking dot to everyone, which gets removed when you move. So do a little dance every now and then to clear him. She casts Unstable Runic Mark, and every player gets a circle around him, goes boom after a few seconds, so spread out. This is a curse, you can decurse it, however that will still cause it to blow up, so be spread. When Briar has the iris, she gets Aura of Thorns, dealing damage to anyone attacking her. Beware. And she casts Jagged Nettles on a target, dealing a huge chunk of damage as well as a nasty dot that lasts until the target gets healed, above 90%. Just heal for it. Notable trash before Soulbound Goliath. The Thorn Shapers, you want to interrupt Infected Thorn as well as Effigy Reconstruction, which heals Jagged Hounds and Thorn Guards. The Thorn Guards also enrage, soothe if possible, and on death they drop a bomb zone. Don't be in it. Matron Brindle, a mini-boss-ish, mainly smashes the tank a lot, but also spawns Swirl with an erupting spike. Spike bad. So for the Soulbound Goliath, boss will continuously gain stacks of Soul Harvest, which increases its damage done. To reset these stacks, tank need to drag boss into the fire that spawns when lightning strikes the ground. This causes the boss to AoE the group, dealing a ton of damage over 6 seconds, and it spawns a spooky fire ghost for every stack that you remove. They fixate and slowly move towards players. Don't let them close, they slap. Boss will also impale one player with Soul Thorns. Make sure to nuke down the spike to free the player. Unless you want to beat him on boss damage, then just let him sit in it. May cause outbursts of rage and profanity, but hey, you won the damage. Notable trash before Rahl the Gluttonous, my spirit animal. So the first trash here is if you go right side at the start of the dungeon. If you go left, you will never meet this trash. Tank, try to line of sight the marksman as they just spam shoot from range. Make sure to interrupt the survivalist serving serpent and beware of their traps. Now inside Rahl's hallways, devouring maggots can cast Infest, which needs to be interrupted or you'll spawn more maggots. The gore-stained piglets cast Snout Smack, smacking the target with a little piggy snout. I mostly wanted to read that tooltip out loud. The Pallid Gorger leap to the furthest away player and deals damage and applies a dot to everyone hit. They will also cast Wretch, an uninterruptible frontal cone aimed at the tank, however you can stun or disrupt it. The Banquet Stewards cast Dinner Bell, silencing everyone within their circle when it goes off. For Mr. Gluttonous, he will face a random direction and cast Rotten Expulsion. Yummers. Spawning swirls and bile oozelings that needs to be tanked and they explode on death. Swirls are bad, adds for pad. Boss will also cast Tenderize, smashing down a frontal cone 3 times. Don't get tenderized. Following a Tenderize, you get Call Servant, spawning an ad from each of the door openings around the room. If they reach the boss, his damage gets increased by 5% per Servant Devour. hard. Yum, 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 yum. Use things like slow, stun, knockbacks, etc. to keep him at bay while you nuke him down. When all the 3 first bosses are defeated, the doors to the cellars open up. There's one door in the kitchen next to Rawl's room, as well as one in the hallway between Heartsbane Triad and Goliath. So, notable trash before Lady and Lord Waycrest. In the cellar, there's a mix of most of the trash you've faced so far, like bewitched captains deal with them the same way as before. There's also a mini-boss, Matron Alma. Make sure to interrupt her ruinous volley. Tanks, beware of decaying touch. It increases damage taken. You want to interrupt Marked Sister's runic mark. If it goes off, targeted player needs to move away from the group before it expires. Tanks, make sure to move Soul Charmers and any other trash mobs out of the Warding Candle runes that they spawn underneath them. 50% less damage taken. You also want to make sure to interrupt their Soul Volley. Then we have Lord and Lady Waycrest. Most of the fight you face only Lord Waycrest. However, Lady Waycrest is still attackable, so you can dot and things like that. Players targeted by virulent pathogen needs to move away from other players before getting dispelled, or it bounces to another player. Swirls? Swirls are bad, avoid cuddling them. After nuking down Lord Waycrest 3 times, Lady joins the fight. Make sure to interrupt Lady Waycrest racking cord. Otherwise, fight remains the same, but you can cleave now. Whoop whoop. Notable trash before Gorak Tool. Gloom Horrors. They will leap on a random ranged player and apply a dot on players' hits. You can bait these. Stun. Roots also works great. Now for Gorak Thul, interrupt Darkened Lightning. Every 20 seconds or so, Gorak will summon a Death Touch Slayer. Just like the trash before, they will leap on the furthest away players, so have a range or healer stand alone outside. They will also stun a player with Death Lens. You need to stun, knock, or kill him to interrupt this. When boss reaches 100 energy, it casts Dread Essence. All ads gets resurrected, and any ads that are alive also gets healed. So throughout the encounter, all chemical fire vials will spawn around the room. One player needs to pick these up, usually the healer, and use the extra action button to burn the corpses so they don't get resurrected. And if possible, you want to make sure ads die before Dread Essence so they don't get healed. And that's pretty much it for Waycrest Manor on Mythic. Hope it helps, and if you have any questions at all, hit me up in the comments on stream or become a patron or Twitch sub. You get access to the Stankie Discord where you can get help with anything PvE related, like dungeons, raiding. Don't forget the usual stuff if you want to help out. Like, comment, subscribe, and slap that notification bell. I'm releasing a lot of guides for 10.2. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.